All right, the football season is almost here, Bucky. In fact, we do have some preseason games, so I think it's time that we take a look at some breakout players for 2017.
Guys that we're looking to have big performances, going to be key contributors on their squads. Let's go ahead and get to it.
All right, let's jump in. AFC South here, Bucky. Texans, breakout player is going to be who?
Texans defense, I'm going to go with Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson is a guy that they drafted in the first round. He is ready to go and really assume a bigger role. What I like about him, I like his athleticism, I like his technical skills, and I believe that he is primed and ready to really be a major factor on this defense. This is a defense that was #1 in the league a season ago. To get J.J. Watt back, which will increase the pass rush. Now we have a ball hawk who can make plays on the ball. I think Kevin Johnson is going to be a star in this scheme.
Smooth, fluid, instinctive. Those are things we thought about Kevin Johnson coming into the NFL, and if he can stay healthy, Bucky, I'm with you. I see big things in store for him on that Texans defense. All right, a team everybody's talking about, the Titans. Who's going to be their breakout guy?
Their breakout player is actually going to be their #2 running back, Derrick Henry. And the reason why he's going to be a breakout player, because they're going to run the football. They're going to continue to pound the ball. You know, DeMarco Murray was one of the top 5 rushers a season ago. But now you get Derrick Henry, a big physical back that can really alleviate some of the pressure on Murray to carry the load. This is a guy that can get to the second level. We've seen the power. And as they continue to commit to really being a physical team and they have more weapons on the outside, you can get lighter boxes. I think that is a perfect recipe for Derrick Henry to have a lot of success running the ball out of those dot formations.
Yeah, and you just give him a little crease for such a big guy. Once he gets in the open field, Bucky, I don't see anybody catching him.
No, I think he's a tempo setter. He sets the tone for that offense. As a backup, I think he's going to come in and have a really nice year.
All right, is this the year for the Jags? We say it every year. We're always waiting and wondering, but I know you've got one guy on defense you think is going to take that leap.
It has to be the year. Dante Fowler has to be the guy that gives them that pass rush. This is a defense and a team that I look at on paper, they should be ready to be a playoff contender. Dante Fowler is another year removed from that knee injury. His ability to be able to come off the edge, give them some pass rush presence with Calais Campbell, Malik Jefferson. They should be able to really get after the quarterback. I look for him to have a big year coming off the edge.
Yeah, look, speed and power. He can bring all that to the table. Needs to stay healthy and just needs to give us consistency from week to week. If he can do that, man, this Jags defense with all the other pieces they have in place, woo!
I mean, the time is now. They have to win now, and I think their defense has to be able to lead the way. If their defense can play well, they can run the ball and really keep the ball out of Blake Bortles' hands, they have a chance to make the playoffs.
All right, Colts, Bucky, we need some initials. Give me a player with some initials.
Here we go, TJ Green. TJ Green is a guy they're still trying to figure out where he's going to play, but I do know as an athlete, he has to be somewhere on the field in the back end, be it at safety, be it at corner. His length, his athleticism, his ability to get on the field, be it in sub packages, has to be critical. This is a team. I don't know if they're going to be able to rush the passer, so they're going to have to be able to be good in coverage. Malik Hooker coming in, being a center field player. If TJ Green can get on the field and find his little role, whatever that is, he can help them. They drafted him high. They got to find a way to use him.
It needs to be a good support player and a force player. Malik Hooker, who we love the ball skills, does have some missed tackles. TJ Green needs to be reliable as a run defender. All right, Bucky, let's focus on the AFC West, a division many feel could be the best division in all of football. And let's start with the team that won it last year, the Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs, they have a ton of players on the outside. Look, you lose to Jeremy Maclin. Everyone is like, who's going to be the guy to step up? And I know Tyreek Hill is on the tip of everyone's tongue, but Chris Conley on the outside is going to be a guy that should have a lot of opportunities. When you look at this passing game and the way it's designed, Travis Kelce is going to be the #1. Tyreek Hill is going to be the #2. That means all the attention is going their way. That means this guy should get one-on-one coverage all day. What I like about Alex Smith, he is not afraid to distribute the ball to playmakers. And Conley really came on last year. Look for him to be a nice addition to this passing game. He should have a lot of production. I'm thinking 60, 65 catches on the outside.
Yeah, no, I was just at their training camp, Bucky, and it seemed like, at least the practice I was at, they were making a concerted effort to push the ball down the field more vertically. They know that needs to happen, and Conley could be a big piece of that for this team. All right, let's go to the Chargers.
Jatavis Brown inside is someone that I'm really impressed with. Last year, coming out of Akron, 5th-round pick, he steps up, he makes a ton of plays, and now in Gus Bradley's defense, I think he has an opportunity to really be one of those sneaky good players. This is a team that is going to a new scheme under Gus Bradley. They have the Hogs up front. Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa. They have nice guys on the outside, Casey Hayward, Jason Verrett. But on the inside, they have to be able to stop the run. This is a tackling machine. He's a vacuum inside. I think he sucks up all those ball carries to try and hit it between the tackles.
And to me, they have Perryman who can do all that dirty work. Let him play downhill and take on, and then let Jatavis Brown run, flow, and hit, something he did very well in college, and I think we both agree that's going to happen here with the Chargers going forward as well. All right, Denver Broncos. I know this guy's coming off of an injury, Bucky, but still, you're expecting a big leap for one of their edge rushers.
Shane Ray. When John Elway had an opportunity to take really what I thought was a luxury pick in Shane Ray, they really jumped on the chance. This is a guy, high motor rusher, guy that can come off the edge. He can bend and burst. Playing opposite Von Miller, he is assured of getting one-on-one on the backside. I believe when he comes back from his injury, he is going to be a guy that finally puts it all together. We've seen him really kind of show some dominance in spurts, but now this is the time where he really becomes a nice complement to Von Miller. Look for him to have 10 or 11 sacks. I believe this Broncos team, they find a way to get this defense back to playing the way we used to seeing them play.
He's got a hand or arm injury. He's going to miss a little bit of time in training camp, but Shane Ray said if I have to play with one arm, I'm going to play with one arm. I had a chance to visit with Wade Phillips the other day, Buck, about Shane Ray, and said he thinks that the light kind of came on for him and he thinks big things are in store. So I'm with you on that one. Big fan of his coming out of the draft as well. All right, the Raiders.
Oh, Carl Joseph playing safety. This is a team I know we can talk about up front. Defensively, they need to get it fixed, but one thing that you have to be good is you have to be strong down the middle if you're going to be a championship defense. Carl Joseph gives them an opportunity to be a strong team down the middle. He's going to roam the middle of the field in between the hashes. There we see him come up and make big hits. I like his ball skills. He is going to add an element of toughness and playmaking ability that they need. And anytime you can play behind a big guy in Khalil Mack, who is going to get 15, 16, 17 sacks, the ball is going to come out. Some of those errant throws would be interceptions. Carl Joseph should be a nice addition to this team. We're going to go to the AFC North. This is a division that you're very familiar with. Let's start at the top, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who are you expecting to break out?
Well, this is a physical division, Bucky, and to me, you look at front seven players that can have an impact, and with the Steelers, I go Javon Hargrave, and getting a chance to see him last year, I thought he was outstanding, and I think you see him continue to take that next step forward, and he's going to start getting some more national attention for what he can do. Talk about somebody that's got an incredibly powerful lower half, can hold the point of attack, and I think he's got a little more pass rush, as you see right here, than he gets credit for. I think he's got a chance to be one of the better interior defensive linemen in the NFL. That's how high I am on him.
You know, that's the most dangerous defender on the front line, an inside pass rusher. If they can get a little bit of that from Hargrave, it certainly takes them to the next level. And going to Cincinnati, they have a talented and deep rotation in the backfield, but you feel like somebody else can step up and add to that.
Yeah, look, normally when you talk about breakout players, you think of somebody that's been on the roster and is going to take that next step. I cheated here because I went with the rookie and Joe Mixon, and I just think, look, this is going to be a star on arrival when you look at his skill set and everything he can do. I know they've got some other backs that they like on this football team. Gio Bernard is going to be a nice player for them, catching the ball out of the backfield. Jeremy Hill can be a downhill runner. This guy can do all of it, and to me, he can do it at a higher level than either one of those guys. So I think Joe Mixon jumps right on the scene and makes a big-time impact for the Bengals.
I expect him to make a big-time impact similar to what David Johnson was able to do with the Arizona Cardinals. You're talking about a big back that can also run it, can split out and catch like a wide receiver. He's someone who should have a tremendous impact on that offense. The Baltimore Ravens, when you think about the Ravens, you think about defense.
Yep.
Who's someone who could break out?
Well, they need a linebacker, and to me, Kamale Correa here in your number 2 out of Boise State, a guy that, man, we talked about him a bunch, and the effort he played with. I remember watching him in a chase play, running about 60 yards down the field and making things happen. Came off the edge in college. Now you're seeing him play off the ball a little bit more here for the Baltimore Ravens. Talking to the folks down there, he's gotten his hands on some footballs. He's made a lot of plays for them. So in an area of need, they need somebody to step up and be C.J. Mosley's partner. I think Kamale Correa ends up being that dude.
I love his versatility at Boise State. I thought he was one of the more versatile players that we saw at that position. Baltimore is a hybrid defense. They move people around. Look for him to be a major factor in that defense. The Cleveland Browns, they have to find someone who can emerge as a difference maker in the passing game. Who is that guy for them?
It's our dude, man. It's Corey Coleman. Again, somebody we talked about it, Bucky. What was the book on him?
4 routes.
4 routes. What we got? We got hitch, slant, post, go. That's it.
Very, very simple, and I think he needs to do the same thing in Cleveland.
Yeah, and you see him here get vertical early in the season last year. That's the opener against the Philadelphia Eagles. Needs to stay healthy. Needs to get, hopefully, some consistent quarterback play. We'll see who that ends up being. Brock Osweiler. But look, Corey Coleman, to me, I think he's the most dynamic weapon in the passing game that they have. David Njoku, I think you'll see him get better as the season rolls along. But starting week 1, I think Corey Coleman's the dude.
Who you got with the Patriots?
All right, let's look at the Patriots here. I'm going to go running back Mike Gillislee, Buck. And to me, when you look at the production that left the building in LeGarrette Blount, it's got to be replaced by somebody. And I love the move they made to go get a Mike Gillislee. Not too many people were familiar with him coming out of Florida and what he did in Buffalo. in glimpses, Bucky, I saw a guy that can run with power, run behind his pads, and especially you get in short yardage situations, I think Mike Gillislee has a big year.
He does have a big year for them. I think the Patriots are great at taking guys and putting them in very specific roles. He should shine as that power back role for them.
All right, and we look at the Jets inside that division, Buck. I'm going to go with a wide receiver that we had on our show. I'm going to go Cal, Chad Hansen. Remember Chad Hansen rolling through here?
I do like him. He's an explosive player.
Yeah, very explosive, vertical guy. And let's just be honest here. Who else is going to get the football? I mean, Quincy Nunn was done for the season. You get rid of an Eric Decker. There's no Brandon Marshall. I mean, the ball's got to go somewhere, and I think Chad Hansen has as good a chance of any of these guys to break out. Now, long term, I think he's going to be a nice supporting player, but he might have to play a leading role for this team this year.
He may have to be the #1 receiver for them. Josh McCown, Christian Hackenberg, whoever ends up playing at quarterback, they have to find someone to toss it to. Hansen could be the guy that gets the gig. So now let's go to the Miami Dolphins. Got a new quarterback in Jay Cutler. Who is going to be the guy that may help him?
Well, new quarterback, but I like the fact they bring in someone who's familiar with the system in Cutler. So I think they're still going to be aggressive in the passing game. Devontae Parker, a player we both loved up when he was coming out of Louisville, coming into the draft. I think now we're going to finally see it all come together. The size, the ball skills, especially down in the red zone. I think you could see a high touchdown total. And with the other wide receiver weapons they have on that team, with Kenny Stills to push it vertically and Jarvis Landry to work in the slot, man, I think it's set up for Devontae Parker to have a big year.
Well, I think it's time. I think the time is now for him to stand up and show out. I think he's going to have a big year. I like this offense, and with Jay Cutler there, I think they really pushed the ball down the field. And so, in Buffalo, got a new coach in Sean McDermott, new front office. Who's the guy that's going to benefit from the change?
Well, let's get somebody on that defensive front, and Shaq Lawson, a player that they loved coming into the draft process. Now got to get him fully healthy. It looks like he will be. And you got somebody that can be a terror off the edge. He never stops. He never quits, Bucky. The hands are active. The motor is outstanding, and he's a great finisher. We said that when he was at Clemson. I think we're going to see that same player emerge this year for the Buffalo Bills. NFC South, one of the most competitive divisions in the National Football League. And Bucky, trying to identify some breakout players, and we're looking at this NFC South division. Falcons coming off of a Super Bowl loss, but you got a player you think is going to take a big step, maybe help them get a win this next time.
They have all the weapons that you want on the outside, but I think it's time for their middle-of-the-field playmaker, Austin Hooper, to be a big factor in the passing game. Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, some of the other guys that are playing on the outside, they command all the attention. But right down the middle of the field, where people are trying to take away Julio Jones, Steve Sarkisian could find a weakness by finding Austin Hooper. This is a terrific tight end, nice pass catcher, soft hands. Did some things last year we saw on misdirection, play-action passes. I believe in the red zone, he becomes a bigger factor. Look for him to have a 10-plus touchdown year as a sneaky surprise pick for the Falcons.
I like Hooper, and to me, tight ends and quarterbacks comes down to trust, and how do you develop trust? You need more reps. So I think year two, we do see a big jump for him. I'm with you on that one. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, give me a defender.
They have to have a pass rusher. Noah Spence is a guy that kind of showed some promise last year. Got in, had some success near the end of the season. This is a defense the last half of the season that was playing as well as any defense in football. Mike Smith now has another offseason to really put his touches on this defense. We've seen their ability to play multiple schemes in the back end, but they still have to be able to knock around the quarterback. Noah Spence is that guy. Putting him alongside Gerald McCoy, I look for him to go over the 10-sack mark this season.
Yeah, to me, I think they're going to have an offense with some of their additions. They're going to give this defense a lead. He's going to get some more pass rush opportunities. That means I think those sack numbers, they spike up. All right, let's have some fun. I mean, some funches. Panthers.
The Carolina Panthers, I would normally say that their breakout player is going to be a rookie in Christian McCaffrey because I think they're going to use him a bunch of
Everybody's saying that, though.
Everybody's saying that.
Everybody
so let's go
that.
Devin Funchess on the backside of Kelvin Benjamin, having an opportunity to really break out. And part of the reason he's going to be able to break out is because Christian McCaffrey is going to command a lot of attention. At some point, when you look at Christian McCaffrey and who they elect to double team, McCaffrey or Greg Olsen, that means more one-on-one coverage on the outside. I believe Funchess is good enough to beat those second cornerbacks. Look for him to be a guy that does factor in the red zone with that size.
All right, help me out here. Remember when Shaq was at LSU, there was another huge center.
Stanley Roberts.
That's what it is. That's what the Panthers receivers are. Shaq and Stanley Roberts. These guys are enormous.
Kelvin Benjamin, Devin Funchess, they can expand the strike zone. And look, for Cam Newton, all the great things that he is, he can be a little off target. You expand the strike zone with those big body receivers. Everyone should be able to catch. I look for his completion rate to go up.
Stanley Roberts, way to pick me up right there. All right, let's go now to the Saints, and we're going to stay at the corner position or look at the corner position for this group.
They have to find somebody that can play in the back end. P.J. Williams. I know they drafted Marshawn Lattimore, and he's going to be a terrific player, but P.J. Williams is a guy that has some promise. It's time for the light to go on. He has to be able to be a guy that can step in and be that second or third cornerback. I like his toughness. I like his physicality. I like his awareness. Aaron Glenn was really positive talking about P.J. Williams, when I talked to him in the offseason, this is the time for P.J. Williams to step up and be a player.
The thing I like about P.J. Williams, that size. And we look at Mike Evans, Kelvin Benjamin, Devin Funchess, and folks, Julio Jones. You got some big physical receivers. So, man, it would be huge for the Saints if P.J. Williams could have a big year. All right, NFC West Division. Bucky, looking for some guys we expect to really make that leap this year.
Yeah, there are a ton of players in this division that should make the leap. But the first guy I want to focus on in Seattle, C.J. Prosise. C.J. Prosise is a guy, to me, that is in that new school of running back that everyone is looking for. He's a hybrid, meaning he's a running back, he's a receiver. He can make plays between the tackles, on the edges, or even out wide as a receiver. This is a guy that has a tremendous amount of experience at Notre Dame playing both positions. I believe the Seattle Seahawks tap into that and allow him to be kind of that game changer on their offense.
Well, look, everybody knows they have to take some of those hits off of Russell Wilson. The best way to do that, give him some quick, easy layup completions, and C.J. Prosise might be able to do a little something with those little dump-offs. All right, Bucky, let's go to the Arizona Cardinals, who you expect to make that leap.
It's time. Robert Nkemdiche has to be a big-time playmaker for them this year on that front line. You lose Calais Campbell. You don't have another interior pass rusher. Well, Nkemdiche certainly has all the tools and traits to be that guy. When you look at his athleticism, when you look at his size, his traits, he is everything that you look for at the position. It's a matter of finally having that light go off. Brinson Buckner has worked hard with him on trying to be more fundamental, more disciplined at the point of attack. This is when I think they unleash him. Show some signs in the preseason game, the Hall of Fame game, that maybe it's coming on. I believe now he gets it done.
I want to see him just be that bull in a china shop. I don't even care about the production. Just cut it loose, because his raw explosiveness and athletic ability, he can disrupt a lot of things back there in the backfield. All right, let's move on to the Rams.
Tyler Higbee. The easiest throw for the quarterback is right down the middle of the field, and you need to have someone that can control it. And when you think about Sean McVay and what he was able to do in Washington with Jordan Reed and even Vernon Davis, trying to make those tight ends weapons, they certainly are able to do those same things in L.A. I look at Gerald Everett coming over and being that top prospect who can come in and do some things. But Tyler Higbee, another year under his belt, very experienced, has a natural chemistry with Jared Goff. Look for him to be the chain mover, the guy that finds a way that continues to make those big plays in the clutch. I think he's going to be a nice factor in the red zone because of his size and athleticism.
Yeah, with Gerald Everett and Tyler Higbee, I think they got a really, really good young set of tight ends. I wouldn't be shocked if one of them ends up leading the team in receptions. My money would probably be on Higbee after watching them at training camp the other day. All right, 49ers, Buck.
Eric Armstead. This is a team that is really going back to the well to make sure they've reinvested in their defensive line. Their defense is really what made them a strong team a few years ago. I think they get back to that for Forrest Buckner, Solomon Thomas, and there, Eric Armstead. These three guys are really going to be the catalyst by being able to control the line of scrimmage and really allow their other guys to make plays. You and I both love Reuben Foster. We have heard the reports of how dominant he has been in practice. Eric Armstead and those other frontline players are going to play a key role in allowing him to hunt. He and Navarro Bowman look for them to make a ton of tackles because those guys up front are doing their job.
Yeah, this could be like sneaky good front seven with a lot of good young players. And if Eric Armstead can take that next leap, they could be pretty good defensively, Bucky. Offensively, that's another conversation for another day. Still some work to do there for the 49ers.
We're now going to look at the NFC East. DJ, we can go right to the top. The Dallas Cowboys. Who's the guys coming out?
Well, a lot of new faces in this secondary, Bucky, but one that's returning is Byron Jones. And I think this is a year we're going to really see everything that Byron Jones can do. Had that versatility in college. We saw him play some corner, saw him play some safety. I think you see him really settle in this safety role this year, Buck, and somebody that can be a force defender against the run. But I look for him to get his hands on a lot more footballs in the back end. He is an elite athlete. Now it's time for the production to catch up.
I think the production does finally catch up. This is a simple system, allows the athletes to play and do what they do well. Byron Jones should have a really good year. I think he's a guy that's going to be a nice center field safety for them. Philadelphia Eagles. This is a guy that you've been talking about.
I feel like I've just been beating this drum all offseason. Timmy Jernigan, I love this addition for the Eagles. And he was a good player for the Baltimore Ravens, coming out of Florida State. But I think this is a better fit for him in Jim Schwartz's defense. Going to put him on a shade over the center, Bucky. Going to let him aggressively work up the field. And you're going to be teamed up with Fletcher Cox inside. That means a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and I just don't see a lot of centers or guards in this league that are going to be able to handle Timmy Jernigan one-on-one.
Quietly, this Philadelphia Eagles defense could be one of the elite defenses if they can find someone on the outside. Jernigan's going to play a huge role on their front line. Going to Washington, new defensive coordinator Greg Minuski, you think he may have a nice piece to break out this year?
Yeah, Sua Cravens, and versatility is something that we stress and we love, being able to play some linebacker, some nickel, being able to play safety. Sua Cravens, I think you'll see him settle in, Buck, this year, and you're going to see somebody on some games, you're going to see him match up with tight ends. Other games, you can play him high You can use him in so many different roles, and one thing about him is he knows what a football is, he knows how to find it, and he knows how to make plays. So I think you're going to see this defense, if they can get that consistent pass rush up front. They've got an offense, even with some new pieces, I think you're going to score a bunch of points. Play with the lead and let Sua Cravens make some plays on the back end. I think this is the year he really, really breaks out.
I think so. I think he settles into his role. He should be a playmaker. They're counting on him. They need someone in that back end to be a difference maker. Sua Cravens could be that guy. And when you think about their defense and matching up, they have to match up with the New York Giants offense. We've talked so much about the passing game. You think they may have a runner that's pretty good.
Well, look, you have all these receivers. There's got to be a way to balance that out. And I think Paul Perkins is that guy for this football team. We just talked about Sua Cravens, old SC player. Let's go across town here to UCLA and Paul Perkins. And Perkins, I don't care what the height, weight, speed is, Bucky. This guy runs hard, and he is aggressive, downhill runner, and I think you're going to see a lot of light box counts because of all the weapons on the outside. It's going to be advantageous for him to hit some creases. Do I think this is the best offensive line in the NFL with the Giants? No. But I think it's going to be a numbers game. I think this passing game is going to spread people out, and he's going to have some lanes to run.
When you think about NFC North, you always think about quarterbacks, but you think there's some other guys that could break out. Let's start off with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, let's go with the baseball reference here, Bucky. Ty goes to the runner. Right? No, actually, it's Ty Montgomery. He might be a runner here for this football team. Line up at running back. We saw him. It looked so goofy last year with that number 88 in the backfield, but he did it some at Stanford. We saw him do it last year at the end of the season for the Green Bay Packers. I think he settles into this role, Bucky, and you talk about being able to be creative. Ty Montgomery, where is he going to line up? Anywhere he wants.
I mean, he is going to be walled on an offense, trying to figure out where he lines up, and he's going to be a difference maker. When you think about Mike McCarthy and what they want to do, they want to really spread you out, do a bunch of creative things. Ty Montgomery will be the catalyst to that. And thinking about catalysts, the Minnesota Vikings have one of our favorite players from the draft. You think he's going to be a breakout star? Tell me why.
Yeah, I'm cheating. I'm going to use a rookie, but Dalvin Cook, to me, I think is an immediate impact player for this football team. I think he'd have won the running back job by default, just off pure ability. But now you get hearing reports that he's gotten comfortable. He's picked up this system. You can use him in the passing game as well as running the rock. And they bring in some new pieces of this offensive line. Sam Bradford last year kind of quietly had a really good year. They've got some guys on the outside. I think this could be a Rookie of the Year type campaign for Dalvin Cook.
I think so. I think you could argue that he was probably the best running back in the draft when it came to being able to do everything. He is a terrific fit in this offense. As they look to spread it out more, I think Dalvin Cook should have major, major contributions on this. The Detroit Lions, we're going to talk about offense for so many teams, but defensively, you think there's a breakout star with?
Yeah, I'm going to go with another rookie here, and that's Jared Davis, their first-round pick out of Florida. And I think he's a tempo setter. He's a leader. He's kind of that fire starter you need. And you can just see him on the hoof here, Buck. I mean, that is a good-looking NFL linebacker right there. You talk about the size, the athleticism. I think he emerges right away as the dude. I know you got Ziggy Ansah coming off the edge. If they get him healthy and back up to speed, he'll be an impact player for him. But this is the tone setter. I think it's going to be this guy right here, the rookie Jared Davis.
Well, I absolutely agree. When I talk to some people in the building, they talk about his ability to be a leader right out the gate. He has stepped in and kind of assumed that role. I think he helps their defense get better in 2017. The Chicago Bears, not a lot of positives from the Bears last year, but you think they may have the ability to turn around a little bit this year.
Well, what do they call him? Human joystick?
Human joystick.
Tariq Cohen. Oh, man, he was so much fun to watch last year. So I'm going to go with him because I saw what he did. I know it was a lower-level competition he played at in college. But when I watched Tariq Cohen, I saw him. I called him – he was my chicken salad guy, right? I'd say the guy made more chicken salad out of the other stuff than anybody you'll ever see. They're going to get him in space in this offense. I think you'll see a lot of 2 and 3 tight end sets with the Bears, and I think you're going to see this guy. It's weird to say it because he's an undersized player, but playing smash mouth football, and all of a sudden you're going to see him. So Jordan Howard's going to do all the pounding, and then you're going to see Tariq Cohen pop one.
He's going to be a tough guy to find because you think about his size, 5'6", 5'7". You can't really find him behind those big offensive linemen. But when he gets to the second level, he's explosive. You called him the human joystick. He was terrific at North Carolina A&T. He's going to add some explosiveness to the Bears' offense. Looking forward to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing him and some of these other breakout players on the list. We've covered all the divisions. Make sure you check out our videos.